This is Down Home Sports, covering the best sports and student athletes in Ellis County. Brought to you by Pinnacle Bank with ATM Live, powered by the people. Not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank.
And Superstar Collision, located on Highway 67 in Cedar Hill, to get it done right for your automotive repairs. Choose Superstar Collision. Hey, Ellis County, guess what? Arieanna Jefferson had an amazing meet, but we're not going to get to that first. We're going to save that for just a little bit here in a second. All right, Arieanna, let me ask you this, okay? Arieanna, who inspired you to put track on your resume?
My biggest inspiration to do track and to put track out there is Usain Bolt, most definitely. I mean, he's the greatest in time for just sprinting and running. He's very motivational to younger athletes, and he just really puts it out there that even if you lose races, that you're still not supposed to give up about things. So,
one athletically, who's that person there in Ferris that has probably not only inspired you, but had your back through this whole process?
I can say that friends-wise or coach-wise?
Well, however you want to do it.
Well, my coach for track, Coach Menifee, she has really just pushed me. She haven't really coached track like that, but still even she pushed me and motivated me to never give up and to always work really hard at what I do. And so, yeah.
Well, folks, if y'all don't know this young lady does 5 events. 5. Okay, I couldn't do one, even if I was throwing shot put. All right. So now these are the events. I mean, she's going to do the 100 meters, 200 meters, long jump, triple jump, and the 4x100. I mean, were you not doing the 4x100? Was I wrong on that one? At the district meet, weren't you at the district meet running the 4x100? I don't think you ran that too much this last year.
No, not that much.
But it's amazing to me because, you run the 100 meter, that's one thing, right? Mm-hmm. But then you run the 4x100. Mm-hmm. That is that's one of the races everybody's sitting there. That's the highlight reel right there. Everybody wants to see 4x1, right?
Yeah.
How is it to go from an individual athletic event straight in pretty much, a little bit later into a team event with handing off a baton? I mean, that's I don't know if people realize this. Handing off a baton while running is one of the harder things in sports to do.
Yes, sir. I mean, you just have to know your teammates, their practice. Practice is key. You have to practice handoffs. You have to practice communication when you pass off the baton, because if you don't have that communication with your teammate, then you can drop the baton. You can take off too early from the baton. It's just, you have to have communication.
Awesome. Well, I want to go over some stats here, and if I'm incorrect on any of these, please let me know. This is just based on my research. You ran your best time in the 4x1 in the district meet, and that was a 12.79. I mean, that's booking, okay? Yeah. That is booking. In the 200 meter, right now, I'm looking at your best time. You saved it for area.
Yes.
A 26.57, and my understanding was that is a PR in the 200.
Yes.
Okay. And folks, we don't end there. We got more for you. Okay. Then we look at the long jump at region. Now, I'm not sure if this was an all-time PR or not, but 17 foot, 10.75. Did you sing "I Believe I Can Fly" while you were doing that?
Yes, you just have to up and kick out your legs and fly into the pit.
Well, and folks, we got one more stat here for you. Now, at the region meet, you jumped in the triple jump 39.6.
Yes, sir.
And at state, ladies and gentlemen, she was 39.75. And then my understanding, that was with a little headwind coming into you. Am I incorrect?
Like headwind?
Yeah, like coming into your face.
Oh, yes, going against the wind.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to tell you right now, folks, this is a pretty amazing stat, young lady. But, you know, when you're doing these jumping events, how much is it just, I know there's a lot more process than what people might think. You just run as fast as you can and jump, right? But what is the thing that you find most enjoyable about these jumping events that you're so wonderful at?
You just have to have fun with it. Like, you can't like really be hard on yourself about like the event. You can't like really stress yourself out. You just have to like go with your gut feeling and just have fun and jump. That's what I always tell people, to just have fun.
Well, and you know, folks, we're going to get to it now. Okay. This is your 4A silver medalist in the triple jump. I mean, this is an amazing task. So when you're out there competing and you see these girls going left and right, you know your distances are right there with them. Okay. What's it like thinking about, does it impact your jump a little bit, or do you just wash all that out once you step on the running track?
Well, you know, like there's girls in front of me, or that I know that girls have better jumps than me, I really just close my eyes, take a deep breath, and just say, just jump. Like, I step onto the track and I just take off, and then I use my explosiveness, everything that I learned through the year, I just use that right then and there to use the best that I have.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. Talk about the technical aspect right now of doing a triple jump. There's a lot of technicality to go along with that.
Yeah. So like having to use your speed, then hop and do like a really kick out jump, then another jump, then having to land in the pit. It's not difficult, but I will say that you have to know how to just use everything in one motion instead of like kicking, then using a small step, and then going into the pit. It's just you just have to have a lot of technique and like using speed and like jumping out more and then getting into the pit, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense to me. But, you know, I mean, how many times did you repetitively do this over a year, getting ready for that moment? Just thousands?
Yeah, like I've worked like really hard over this like season, like even just like spring break, like going over the weekends to the track, being the only one at the track, practicing my technique for my jumps, from just staying after at practice later than everybody else to like focus on my jumps. And yeah, so I jumped a lot this year.
I imagine so. Well, you know, you're looking over there at somebody. Who are you looking at?
Oh, my parents.
Tell them to come on over.
Dad.
So, Arieanna, what's it like once you hit that mark? You know you're right there in the running, and you go up on that podium, and you're able to look in your parents' eyes. What was that moment like for you?
It was a great feeling just having my parents support me, and like for them to be there to just watch what I do best. So, and then they started crying too. So it was a good feeling.
Well, Mr. Jefferson, what's it like for you as a parent in the stands, seeing your daughter compete at the highest level in the state of Texas and challenging everyone and overcoming so much this year, and then attaining a silver medal there? I mean, that's got to be an amazing stance as a parent.
Yeah, I'm speechless. I have nothing to say. I'm just proud of it.
And, you know, what's one of the things that you're most proud of off the track with Arieanna?
Academics.
Okay. And so, Arieanna, when you're talking about this stuff right here, okay, and, you know, when you're talking about doing all these things, and they're all amazing, but does it is it not an amazing thing that between your academics, just who you are as a kind person? Because you're always, every time I've ever seen you around, you've always got a smile on your face. Okay. You're never down. During volleyball season, you kept the team up the whole 9 yards, and you're an amazing athlete. Does it not amaze you that now that you have a platform to reach out to younger women and inspire them to become more than they thought they could?
I mean, yeah, I've always just even when people ask me, people my age, even people my age look up to me and say that they're inspired by me. And that's a great feeling, because it's I can tell them, you can do it too. Anybody can do it. They just have to have their mind to it, and they have to set their standards really high and just be focused and willing to do it. So.
Well, and when you talk to these little girls, okay, and then, during volleyball season, you are throwing the balls out in the stands, stuff like that. And what does it mean to you when one of those little girls comes up and goes, I want to be just like her? It doesn't happen that much at track, but it might happen around town a lot more. But now that you're a celebrity down there, and you're going to be a celebrity forever, okay, you're going to be in the books forever there. What does it mean for the younger girls, though, when they have a role model to look up to? Does that touch your heart?
Yes, it touches my heart a lot, because it's just seeing me now, and them being inspired by me, just tells me and lets me know they're going to work hard when they grow up and when they get to middle school and high school, and that they're going to represent Ferris too. So yeah.
Okay. Well, Mr. Jefferson, did you know when she was little, is there a story when she was little that you thought, hey, look, this is going to be something she's going to be into?
She's just always been athletic ever since about 6.
Well, I'm surprised that with triple jumping as good as she is, and basketball coaches didn't try to hold her down for that the whole time, to be honest with you. But no, I mean, it's an amazing feat. And, accomplishing this, we applaud you most heartily. Because my understanding, and you correct me once again, this is all the information I could find out there, but you were right on the heels of the girl that took it.
Yes.
And y'all were pushing each other back and forth from what I heard, which was an amazing thing, because and folks, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not that easy when you're sitting there watching these distances come back and forth and going, okay, I need 0.62 inches to get past her. I mean, what goes through your mind when you're trying to figure out, okay, how can I get 0.62 more or something like that?
I mean, I don't think I've ever really put it in my mind to just say, I've always said that I need to get there, but I don't really think about it, because I feel like when people think about it too much on what they need more, they do less, if that makes sense. So I've always just said, just use better technique when I'm running, run faster so I can hit the board and explode more. I've always told myself that. I know that the distances are far apart, because I don't think people really notice that inches is really far. It's really far in sand. But yeah, so I've always just told myself that, to just jump.
So what does the future hold for you?
I'm hoping the future holds for me state champ next year for triple jump, and maybe even more. I'm coming back all fierce next year for my sophomore year. This is just the beginning for me.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to bring up. I mean, folks, you got to remember these times and these distances, she's coming back. I mean, this isn't a one and done, right? What now, are you going to focus more on triple jump next year and long jump? Or are you going to go back to the speed events? And if so, do the speed events help you out with those jumping events?
My heart holds triple jump, but I also just love track, period. I love running, and I love my teammates to just do relays with them and to just run the 200 and the 100. My goal for next year is to make it to state for the 200 at least, because that is so I'm trying to train harder and work better for the 200, but triple jump is going to be the main thing on my list to work really hard for.
Well, yeah, you went up against another girl here in Ellis County, and it's amazing. And folks, I want y'all to know this. Top 2 in triple jump 4A in the state of Texas are both right here in Ellis County. Okay. Ain't nobody better than Ellis County down here. But did I lose you? There we go. All right. But if there was one thing that you keep mentioning your team, that's been a big part. Talk about track not just being an individual sport, but a team event as well. Because there's other people out there doing the long jump. There's others run you got a team with the 4x100, 4x200, and then you've got your teammates that run the 200 and 100. Talk about just that team mentality, because that seems to be a big part of you, is helping that team out and reaching those team goals.
I've always just told my teammates to never be down about losing a race. I love my teammates, me and my teammates are really close. Every time we go to a track meet, it's always laughing and smiling. Even when they do lose a race, or when I lose a race, they always uplift me. And that's why I've always said, yeah, track is can be an individual sport too, but I have a team as well. So it feels really good that they support me at what I do. Even just going to state by myself, they really do support me.
Well, and is it not easier when you've got, because I know there were a few extra people that went down as well to cheer you on. Who are those friends of yours that were able to make it? You're going to give them a shout out or something. And what do they mean to you and your career thus far?
Well, most of my coaches just went because it was prom weekend. So a lot of my friends couldn't make it, but they were still on FaceTime cheering me on. In my messages telling me good luck, to go get it, to not just think about it, to jump, telling me they love me, just sending me prayers and all of the extra fun stuff. But my coaches did come down and support me, and I was very appreciative of them too.
Awesome. Very, very awesome. Well, now volleyball season, you going to play volleyball again?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say, if you can jump that far, hopefully you can jump through that gym over there in Ferris as well. But no, it's just amazing to me that, from what I've always heard about you, and a lot of it's through Coach McGee, is just what a great person you are. You're smart, you're talented, you're an inspiration around the school, and you're not even a senior. Normally you hear that about an upperclassman, a senior. But what do you think that you learned from your parents or a former coach that helped make you that way?
My parents always told me, my mom, she's always telling me, just Arieanna, never be cocky with yourself. I see a lot of girls and boys that are just very cocky about themselves, and they think they're better than someone. Anybody can be great as me. Anybody can be great as Usain Bolt. Anybody can be great. My mom has always taught me that, and always keep my grades up and just be very academically wise, because that helps with a lot too. And so, yeah. Well,
awesome. Well, do you have any colleges that you're kind of looking at in the future?
Yes, I don't really know about volleyball, but for track, I love Florida's track team. I love Texas track team. I love Texas track team.
Well, you don't have to change any colors. No, you can still stick with the colors.
I love LSU's track team as well. So those are the colleges that we're looking at, but they're big schools. So I just know that if I do want to go to a school like that, I'm just going to have to work really, really hard.
Well, if there's anybody out there that could dream it and achieve it, I'm going to have to say it would be you. And just, folks, make sure if you see this young lady around the county, give her a pat on the back, tell her congratulations. To place in the top 3 in the state of Texas in any sporting event, okay, is pretty darn amazing. In Ellis County, we're always on the run. It's always good to know that someone's always there. Doesn't matter the time of day. With ATM Live, hours are always available. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can always pull right up
and talk to someone live for that personal service. Or stop by and visit with the friendly folks inside. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
Yeah, let's kind of guess what? We got a little more softball action coming at you right now. We got the Ovilla Christian softball team that is just pounding the ball, pounding the strike zone, and throwing people out lickety-split. Let me tell you, they've had an amazing season. We got Abigail Hell, Maddie Remick, Tinsley Walton, and Coach Domin. Coach Domin, talk about your season and what has made this team so special to you.
Well, I think it starts with our seniors. We have the two seniors, Abby and Maddie, who have been great leaders for the team this year, and a lot of young players. We have 6 starters, I believe, with 2 years or less of playing experience. So, having the 3 that we have here, Tinsley, Maddie, and Abby, to help out, they're all like assistant coaches on the field for me. And I appreciate the efforts that they've put in. And, we've reaped that from a rough beginning. We had a rough beginning to the season, but we are on a roll. Kind of surprising to me, but we are on a roll. And we just hope to keep it going.
Well, Tinsley, what's that thing about the team this year to you personally? Is it just the camaraderie? This is really the first year y'all can, since we've had COVID, that y'all can have the bus rides and not have anything held back. You get to have team dinners, all the stuff that these seniors kind of missed for 3 years. There's a lot of it. Does that not vault y'all this year a little bit?
Yeah, I think it helps a lot not having the COVID restrictions like we did before, because our school's so small that we honestly all have a really close relationship off the field that really comes into play whenever we're all on the field together playing. So I think that really helps.
One, Maddie, we've talked about this before over at Ovilla with guys, gals, doesn't matter which sport. Because it's so small, everybody. And because it's so small, everybody's there at the game if they can possibly be there to root you on. Does that not help vault y'all as well? Is knowing that whether they're your classmate, your friend, they're going to be there, singing This Little Light of Mine when it's all said and done.
For sure. Definitely with being at a smaller school, it's such a joy being able to look out into the crowd and seeing your close classmates or people you may not be as close with, but having that tight-knit bond at the school, you're able to cheer everyone on, have the fun little cheers at the games, and just be able to support each other constantly. And it's definitely impactful to the team and just the school in general.
Well, Abby, what's one of those little cheers that y'all like to do in the dugout?
Oh gosh. Tinsley is normally our dugout chant leader.
Oh.
I would say that generally, based off of our last game especially, we just kind of create a zoo with animal noises. We just make any animal noise that is possible that we can even think of, even sometimes that we can't even think of.
Okay.
So that's our little fun.
So has anybody put on an aardvark this year?
An aardvark, we haven't thought of that one.
Okay.
We tried a giraffe. It did not work.
Yeah.
It sounded a little bit like that.
There we go. Okay, well, Tinsley, what's that cheer that y'all get going to get things going?
I think one of our favorite ones to do is probably the We Love Free Bases cheer, just because.
Okay, Tinsley, lead us out in it right now.
Okay.
Come on.
It just goes like, we love free bases, we love free bases, whenever we get a win.
Now, see, Tinsley, the only one I can ever remember was there was a little froggy who sat up on a loggy cheering for the – that's little kid stuff back when I was coaching rec. But, Coach, it seems like you got a fun team here, and that normally makes play loose. It keeps your pitcher loose. When you go to bat, you have a lot of confidence by having that kind of thing. What is the big deal about this group as far as the confidence goes that's been showing up the most?
Well, I think I preach that whenever we do something that's positive, I like to reinforce that a lot. being a positive coach is going to be something that's going to help motivate your players a lot more than any negativity. I think if there's anything I ever say that's negative, I think they understand that that's something they might need to work on. But they're just fun, and you let them be themselves because, you know, they are fun to be around. Sometimes I begrudgingly admit that I like being around them, but I kind of do.
Well, I'm going to tell you, a fun softball team's always great to be around to me. Okay. But Maddie, talk about the power add-on this year. Y'all have been crushing it.
Yeah, this year I was kind of nervous going into the year with just how young our team was, but the more and more we got to practice and learn more about each other, it just shows how much of a competitive team we are and how much we want to win and how we're going to fight until the end and that we're not giving up. We're going to keep powering through it, and that every game we're going to learn more about our opponents, learn more about ourselves, and just keep improving each and every game until we can reach the final.
Well, and, you know, Abby, we saw some more softballs up there on the wall of honor back there, okay? I did notice that, folks, when she first turned on. She has to admit that because that thing's gotten huge over the years since we've been talking to you. But just talk about, you know, the hot bats right now. I mean, you win your last game 11-1 going into state. Something's got to be going right there because it seems like the scores I'm seeing, the pitching's keeping it low and the hitting's adding to the other side with a lot of crooked numbers.
No, absolutely. We get into our little groove on the field. We'll start making routine plays, and I'll be able to pitch better when my defense is backing me up better. The bats get rolling. We get on a train, and we just do not stop, and we keep it going. I was talking to the team, and I told them one of the most important things to remember is that enough runs is never enough, and you got to keep getting runs and putting it on them, because when we let up, that's when they're going to jump on us. So that's been our kind of our lifeline this whole season, focusing on making sure we're staying on top of the inning and always winning the inning.
Well, and Tinsley, it seems like you are getting a lot of base runners on this year too. So when you do have that long ball, it's adding to it. What's the key to that? Is it, you know, are y'all just going up there with the attitude of I'm doing my job? If I need to bunt, I'm going to get it down. If I need a base hit, I'm going to find a way.
Really, I think just having the confidence in yourself that even if you just get an RBI or you just move one runner, it's taking it one base at a time and one run at a time. Like, it doesn't matter if you're hitting home runs over the fence every time. As long as you're playing your role on the team, that's all that really matters.
Well, Coach, I mean, that's a pretty good thing to hear right there when you say if you're just getting an RBI. You know, I mean, that's got to be a good feeling because that means everybody's going up there with the attitude to hit. But the biggest thing I've seen this year is the defense has really stepped up their game as well. It seems like you're flashing leather here, you're flashing leather there. You know, some bunts that were given up in the past aren't happening this year. Things like that. What do you think that is this year? Is it just the maturization of some of your players? Is it some of the drill work y'all have done? Is it a combination of both?
Probably a combination, but we do spend a lot of time on defense. Every practice, we do this thing called 21 outs, where they have to defensively get 21 outs without making too many errors, or else, you know, we do base running drills and stuff like that, which we really haven't had to do much. And I think it's just also mistakes, and we don't really get on them for that. It happens, and I think it's just a group that is unselfish. They do pick each other up, and they don't let things bother them. They just don't.
Well, Maddie, you know, to get in the Hall of Fame for baseball, you need to bat over 300, right? So baseball and softball, both games are based on who has the least amount of mistakes. Now, as a senior, is it easier to swallow that when you go up there and you have an at bat? Maybe you didn't make good contact with it, but you know what you made that pitcher force their hand and show you everything they got. Do you appreciate that more now than probably as a younger player?
I've definitely learned over time, and especially a lot this year, that like even when I'm making a mistake, that I have to push it to the side and just focus on what's ahead of me. Because I know for my last game, I missed a pop fly right over my head, but the next play I focused and I caught the next one I got. And I'm just learning that from every mistake that I can improve and learn what to do for the next time just to help improve my team better and to help us get back into a groove. And I got to keep my energy up. So.
Well, and Tinsley, that's one thing. If I look across the score sheet on most games, right, you don't see y'all giving out a lot of extra outs. How do you think that's going to help as you go into the state tournament?
As we're going to face harder teams than we faced before, like I said before, every single run that we make counts. So I think if we're facing harder pitchers, it's going to be harder to hit off of them. So whenever we can get points when we can and keep the other team down when we can, it's really going to benefit us to just keep their bats.
Okay, awesome. Well, Abby, when you were talking about pitching, right, is it not just, it's pitcher-catcher combo. A pitcher can be real good, but a pitcher can be great if that catcher knows how to frame just off that edge or just how to read somebody within the box, right, to set up that next pitch. What is it about this team on the pitch and catching side? Because it doesn't look like a lot of people have stolen on y'all that much this year as well. And that's a lot to do with your pitcher-catcher combo as well.
Right. My catcher, let me tell y'all what, Jessie Marshall, that girl, she has been killing it. She's a freshman this year, and she's just come in and been a total rock star. She's thrown people down. She's sat people down. Like, she just understands it, and she understands the game and how it works. So it's easier for us to work together so that we can understand, okay, we can read this person based off of this, so we're going to throw this pitch and those kind of things like that. But she is killing the game, absolutely.
Well, Coach, when you get to these state tournaments, it comes down to, there's going to be the bombers out there. It's going to be really good pitching most of the time. You're done with anybody that's just basically banging the ball up on the deck to get it there. But I tell you what, the big thing to me is the speed of the game increases. How are y'all prepared for that speed to change just a little bit more at the state tournament?
I think the girls realize, what we've been facing the whole year. And, the teams that you're playing now, you're getting into the, playoff softball. I think they understand that. I think they understand that the quickness of the game and the pace of it, gets faster. And when you have the confidence in looking ahead to what play you have to make, depending on whatever situation you're in, and it all comes down to knowledge and experience to be able to pick those things up quick. And I think every girl in this team has gained that experience, which of course adds to their knowledge to be able to play. And I'm not worried about them not being able to handle this in this element. I trust that they are going to do everything that they need to do. I'm confident going into this weekend that we're going to be successful. I've been in state tournament play before, not in Texas, but I think what it is. And I have as much confidence in this team as I've had for any team I've ever coached.
Well, Tinsley, who's that one person over in the dugout? Since you're the cheerleader, you get the cheers going, the chants going and all that. But who's the one person that gets you pumped before the game? And how do they get you pumped?
I would definitely have to say that Demi Martin is my biggest hype man on the team, because she really just really boosts my confidence and just my energy level before the game.
That's cool. Well, and Maddie, I'm going to come to you, okay? And this question for both y'all, being big time leaders on the program for a long time now. What does it mean to y'all as young women to take this opportunity and the opportunity y'all had last year and become role models for other young women to say, hey, you can do this. You can be a great student. You can be a great athlete, and you can be a faithful person. And you're an example of what that looks like to somebody. Do y'all take advantage of that, or what does it mean to you personally? Maddie, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I definitely love being able to take on this role of the younger girls being able to look up to me, because knowing that I'm a role model to them allows me to just continue to be a better version of myself and to continue to remind myself that there are people looking up at me, and they're constantly looking to see what I'm doing, if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm doing the wrong thing, and just being able to be that person in their life to bring them more confidence and joy while playing the game, and to not get hard on themselves, but just to enjoy the time that they have like now and together, because this is an opportunity that doesn't come often for many schools. So just being able to just enjoy the moment, to have fun while playing the game and not make it such a big deal, because in the end of it, it doesn't matter what this outcome comes. It just matters that we are trusting in the Lord during the process and just enjoying the time while we have it.
Awesome. Oh, Abigail, what about you?
You know, Maddie really hit the nail on the head right there when she talked about that. The biggest thing for me to remember as a role model is that there, of course, are people looking up to you, and it makes me want to perform better for them and let them know that this is possible. Another thing that I do other than softball is I actually show goats. And one of the biggest phrases in the stock show world is, there's someone looking up to you wanting to be like you when you grow up. Be the best you can be for them. And that is like my driving force of, I have to be the best that I can be, show these young women and young athletes in general that anything is possible if you work hard enough for it.
Well, Coach, can you kind of give us a little bit of a rundown of the events that are coming up for y'all this coming week?
Well, we're just going to really be focusing on practice, going over scouting reports on Temple Christian. I just want to reinforce that, you know, I told them today, you know, Temple Christian is undefeated. And, you know, I asked them, why are they undefeated? Why haven't they lost yet? And it's because they haven't played us yet, you know. So that's the mindset I want them to have about this. So this week really for us is practicing, getting ready for this. Trying, you know, it's going to be a show, but you have to kind of put that aside, focus on the game. Friday, we're going to, you know, just have a pregame meal and try to treat it as a normal kind of game. Soak it all in, because it's going to be that kind of thing, an experience of a lifetime. But, you know, the goal for us is to play on Saturday. So everything that we do the rest of the week will be, you know, shooting towards that.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a fun time. And Coach, you got a nail on the head right there for you. Ladies, we wish y'all the best luck. Y'all know we're behind you all the way. But enjoy this. These are moments you'll never forget in your life, and you'll drive people crazy talking about them later on. From DownHome Sports, we wish y'all the best luck. Can't wait to hear an update on Saturday with some big things coming from y'all. And Coach, go out and get them. Ladies, hit them where they ain't. Yellow on green. All right.